It's the SDG Podcast. Before we get started, you can check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com/podcast or find us on all the social medias, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Solution Design Group.
So let's talk about passkeys today because it seems like a hot topic and I'm in the middle of doing stuff that requires them. So it's timely. So with us to talk about this wonderfulness, we have Peter Lawrence.
Hi there.
And Dan Shui.
Hello there.
And I'm Kyle Bacher. And this is the SDG Podcast.
Wow. Voiceover work.
Peter, I have been, and Dan, I've been like neck deep in dealing with the Salesforce security changes, which they've been implementing in June in the sandbox. And then we have till July to get it all figured out in production. So, and I'm pretty much there for most of it. The passkeys thing though was confusing because I've had passkeys and I've set them up for different things, and now it seems like every place I go asks me if I want to set up a passkey.
Yeah. I think that's going to become the standard at least for a while, because like everybody hates passwords and has for a long time, but they've been the way to do authentication for decades, and there's lots of problems. Passkeys are better, so I think people are going to switch them for a while. They're better in a lot of ways, but they have their own problems. Like you said, they're confusing. Like it's hard to remember where they are. Like where are they? It's kind of like magic, which is kind of confusing in and of itself.
Yeah, magic with magic for authentication is not my favorite route. I prefer to have some knowledge.
Well, it's not obvious. Like if a website says, would you like to create a passkey on your phone, and you do it, it's not obvious if that's going to work on other devices or what you have to do to get it to work on other devices and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So there's two kinds of passkey. There is device dependent, which works on one device. That's it. Of course, one of those devices could be the little passkey you carry around, which I suppose showing it to the camera isn't going to do any good for the people listening. But
Kyle's holding up a giant picture of a YubiKey right in his hands. It's covering his entire face. It's amazingly
and I'll see YubiKey commercials all day long. Yeah, or your laptop, with Windows Hello for Business. But then there's like account bound, more dynamic ones so your Google Auth can do passkeys. There's a couple password managers that can do passkeys. I think 1Password is one of them. I don't know.
Bitwarden does. I store passkeys there.
Yeah. So there's like different questions on, well, what's the right thing to do? Do we use this or that? And, we have to set our admins up with passkeys, and it's like, well, what's the backup then?
Right.
And lose the passkey.
Right. And that's one of the, like, generally passkeys I think are more secure than passwords for most people, but if your backup is just password protected and somebody can steal your password, well, then they have your passkey. So it's only as strong as your backup authentication method.
Yeah. Because we have, if you go into Microsoft 365, it's, it's like you can add an authentication method. It's like, well, what do you want to do? Do you want me to send you a text? Should I send you a code in an email? Do you want me to call your mom? Like, it's got 50 options in there. Well, each one of those is effectively providing an attack vector.
Yeah.
I said vector.
Yeah.
Over. And so it's like, do you have to strip all that away then? And we have to have a narrow focus of passkey only.
Yeah. So, I mean, one thing to remember with security is it's impossible to secure anything 100%. It's just impossible. You can't do it because you need access to it, right? So there's always a way to access it because you have a way to access it. So
right.
So you can't really make it, the kind of goal is to make it harder to hack than it's really worth. So passkeys are harder to hack than passwords in most cases. So in that sense, they're better. But
and I think it's to stop the phishing, right? More
yeah,
than
they're
more
better
than
at
other
phishing.
things.
Yep.
They
They're
call it
way-
a phishing resistant passkey.
Yeah. The other thing that's really good about passkeys is they're specific to the service or the website you're accessing. So it's not like a password that you might share across a whole bunch of services. Passkeys are unique to a specific service, which makes them more secure because if somebody gets it, they can't use a Wells Fargo passkey to get into your principal retirement account or something.
And one would hope that your Wells Fargo and your principal account's passwords in general were different before this whole started.
Yeah, I named one after my cat and one after my wife's cat, and then I just increment an integer every year to keep them secure at the end.
I'm not even going to ask your cat's names because I don't know if you're lying or not. So
yeah, you don't know my cat's
are
name.
So long, they're just gibberish, long like groups of words that mean nothing.
Well, because
they make me laugh.
Oh, you do like pass-phrases?
Yeah, I do.
I let my password generator do like a 24-character one that I never know what it is for anything. I just trust
that way. If they try to torch you for it,
yeah,
you're like, I have no idea.
They'll just ask me for my password manager password, Kyle. That's the way to
give us your master password.
Like your fallback, like you can't count on just one. Because it's like you have to have. Okay, so you use the key, and then you lose the key, and then you're hosed.
Well, and we can't make people carry around hardware keys. Like only hardcore nerds like you are going to do that, Kyle. Like no normal person is.
You watch your mouth, mister.
My wife is never going to carry around a little hardware key.
But she's going to have her phone in her pocket.
She will have her phone, which can be a hardware key, I guess.
Yeah. It's just a little different. Like it's a camera and a phone and an MP3 player, and now it's a hardware key too.
Yeah, I think we're going to end up with a device passkey.
Yeah, and people break those things all the time.
Passkey.
Yeah, and I mean here's the other thing. Like passkeys right now are based on like public private key technology, which we like once we have quantum computing, that stuff is broken anyway. So like who knows how long it'll
Can you explain how public private key works?
Yeah, so basically public private key technology it involves extremely complex mathematics, which involve factoring massive numbers to figure out what the prime factors were. So I can't explain how that works really, except that it's impossible to brute force really. So the idea is when you generate a passkey, your machine will generate a public-private key pair. Those are two different long strings of random numbers, and they're mathematically related such that if you know one, you can kind of figure out if something was encrypted with the other. So your public key gets shipped off to the service you're connecting with. Let's say it's Wells Fargo. They then, when I connect to Wells Fargo next time and they authenticate, they can send me a message that's encrypted with my public key and basically say, can you read this? And because I have my private key, I can read it. And so I can acknowledge to them that I've read it. They know it's me. When it was signed, when the passkey was created, I had to use my bio thing, my Windows Hello or my thumbprint or whatever to log in. So that means in order to unlock the key pass, you have some sort of authentication method like that, so that it's assuming when you authenticate with your key, your pass key to Wells Fargo or whatever, that you've passed the authentication on your local machine and therefore it's trusted.
Okay, let me ask this question to you guys. And so I've set up a couple of passkeys. I set up one for Amazon just as sort of an experiment. Hey, I know how to shop at Amazon. I'm a forever member or whatever. Um, I put in my passkey. I still have to put in many, many times. I still have to get the code on my cell phone and put that in
Yeah.
as like a bazillionth different step to logging
Yeah.
in. Like,
Yeah.
why
And
doesn't it?
yeah, it's confusing because if you start reading about passkeys, they'll say it's a form of multi-factor authentication.
Right.
Then why are you multi-multiing my multi-factor authentication? Because
Yeah.
I don't,
I mean, I guess it's not saying two-factor, it's multi-factor, and so
right.
Yeah.
you can go to
But
as many multis as they need.
That opened the door for
but
just so many factors.
but I already know people like my uncle who's in his 80s, but he's very sharp. He's an author and he's very well read. And he uses email and he uses Facebook to keep in touch with people. Well, he just gave up on Facebook because he didn't want to deal with the multi-factor authentication. That was too much for him. He's like, no, I'm not going to jump through those hoops.
That was a bridge too far, huh?
Yeah, it was.
It's funny how that's changed, like the kind of the evolution of security with starting with a basic username password. And it was like, well, the password's not long enough. Okay, now it has the wrong types of characters. We need to mix that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That none of that's working. That's all hackable and phishable and whatnot. So now we can do two factors, and that way, it's far less likely
Yeah.
that you use both, but they still have like attacks where they just do it over and over again until you accidentally accept it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the trick with all this authentication, it's it has to like with behavioral finance. There's this whole field called behavioral economics, behavioral finance. So like everybody knows you should start saving early, you should do all this and that, but people
Yeah.
don't do it because they have behavioral like habits. So the trick is how to get stuff to like take those behavioral biases out of the picture. Because like with passwords, people can't remember long stuff. So the natural behavior is going to be to make short passwords.
Right.
And so then you try to force them to make longer one, all this stuff. But you have to come up with a technology that short circuits all of those human foibles, I think, where we can take them out of the loop. Because people will shoot themselves in the foot with, and like people like us, we're kind of savvy, but most people aren't. And like my uncle doesn't know what multi-factor authentication is. He just knows that he keeps getting these dialogues that annoy him, so he's not doing it.
Yeah. And anytime you raise the bar on security and make a change that affects the user, it's the worst thing that's ever happened to them in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and so this is tangentially related, but at my current client, I was just on a call about how people take surveys, and I learned two new terms that are terms of art in the survey world, online survey world. One is mouse thrash. Have you guys heard of this before?
Mouse what?
Mouse thrash.
Wow.
Mouse thrash is when a user is so frustrated with your user interface, they start furiously scribbling with their mouse cursor because they don't know what else to do. And there's AI now that's being rolled out by some of these service providers that runs in the browser that can detect that and say, "Oh, you seem to be having a hard time." So that's mouse thrash. And then the other one is rage clicking. Rage clicking is when your input controls are not responsive enough and people just hammer on the mouse button trying to get the thing to drop down to open up or something. So they can detect that too. We can know when people are rage clicking.
Yeah, I've supported users that just were like they were mouse crazed. I go to help them and they would just be clicking on everything. And it's like, okay, slow down, super click. I need you to do what I'm telling you. Well, some of those are you human or not kind of bot detectors.
Oh, don't even get me started on those.
You think they're just asking you to check a box, but it's also looking at what your mouse is doing on the page.
It's the trail of your cursor from wherever it was to the checkbox, and they can somehow tell with AI whether that was a algorithmically generated trail or whether it was a clumsy human like moving a mouse across an uneven surface or something.
Oh man. So the next step is for people to record every single possible mouse trail to that checkbox and then play back random ones.
Yeah, they'll figure that out at some point. Yeah, they'll be able to hack that.
My car has certainly enabled a little bit of rage clicking when the Waze dialog box pops open behind the application itself.
Yeah.
And I've learned to switch applications and then come back and then it'll bring it to the front. But
Yeah.
it's like, well, but on what planet is a dialog box under an application a good thing on a phone or TV
while
in
you're
your car?
driving, especially.
Yeah. Like, come on.
It rains diamonds on Venus. That might not be related, but
It might be.
You started it. You said planet. So is Passkeys easier, better, stronger, faster, and more wonderful for the end user?
They're better in two important ways. One, they're not shared across services. So like people share a lot of their passwords. That's a big win right there. Two, they're harder to steal because like I don't know what my passkey. I can't like somebody I might write down I'm not going to write down my passkey for somebody to find, or nobody's going to guess it. So they're way better. Better for phishing. I think the biggest problem with them right now is it's confusing. Like when I say sure create a passkey, I don't really know what it did. I don't know, is that going to work when I go on my phone? Because I did this on my laptop and
yeah. And
so if it's in your Apple keychain, if it's in your Google, if it's
in iCloud, is in Google, where is it?
All those things follow you around. It's a synced passkey.
Well, yeah. And where are they stored? When it got created, did it get stored somewhere securely? I don't know what it did. Is it just like sitting in a file on my hard drive next to my cookies somewhere or what? I don't
know. There wasn't a nice clear, we've created your passkey and it is located here on your computer right now when you've created it.
On a Windows machine, there's a chip.
Yeah.
It's like Windows Hello is, and when you create a PIN, it's like, well, how secure is this if I can use a 6-character PIN to get in it? And it's like, well, it's coming from outside of your running operating system. It's got to retrieve that from hardware. So it's dependent on your device.
Wasn't there just a hack for that?
Probably. There's a hack for anything.
I feel like
so if you push the tabs in on the saran wrap, it still sucks.
It's on the aluminum foil.
I don't use my saran wrap. It's too much. So does this change the way you guys do development?
It hasn't impacted anything I do.
Yeah, but it's going to. I mean, it's coming. These things always start out sort of at the FANG. They always start out at FANG and work their way out to the rest of the world.
Right. I'm guessing they'll have a fairly limited shelf life. I'm guessing in a couple of years we'll be talking about something else, but we'll see. They're better than passwords for most people, I think.
Because you can do passwordless passkeys where it's just like, I think it's kind of like in an iPhone, like you can have that second level of auth to open your other MFA. Like it's got to do Face ID before it will send your response.
That's how. Yeah, I've got Face ID on my iPhone, and that's the authentication method.
But then that's before you get to the Authenticator app, right? That you then have to type in the 2-digit code and send.
Which brings me to another topic, kind of a subtopic of this, and that's step-up authentication.
Step-up authentication?
Step-up authentication. Are you not familiar with this? I'm just surprised because you guys usually know way more than I do. Step up is when you have to authenticate again to get to something inside the system you've already authenticated to. So so you go on your Mac, you've already signed in, all that stuff. Well, then you pull up your settings and you want to add an account. Well, then it makes you sign in again. So that's step up. So it's been around for a long time.
Why does it do that? In case somebody like forced you to log in and then
You
like
walk away from your system.
did away with you and then like tried to continue?
I think it's the human nature thing because, yeah, my Mac generally sits unlocked on my desk 90% of the time, and I don't have a 1-minute timeout like I would at a client where it locks down.
Can't do it.
That's the thing. We can't depend on the end user for security. We simply can't. And you're a sophisticated end user, Peter. Most people are not as sophisticated as you. And so if we can't depend on you, we can't depend on anybody.
Well, I lock it when I'm in the office, but at home, I feel like my home is secure enough that I don't have strangers wandering in that often.
What do they say convenience is the enemy of security.
Well,
absolutely.
Yeah, they're mutually exclusive for the most part. That's why people are trying to make it easier. It's supposed to, like, passkeys are supposed to be easier for most people than passwords.
Yeah.
But again, it's, for me, the biggest thing with passkeys is the multi-device support for them. Like, what do I... Like if I could just say, hey, Wells Fargo, create a password on my iPhone and everything just worked magically across all my devices and everything from that day on, be great. But
it can be. I mean, you can use one password manager or Google Auth or Apple Keychain, but Apple Keychain doesn't go across non-Apple devices.
It doesn't. And again, we have to be thinking about users that are less sophisticated than people in the tech industry. Like, my wife doesn't know what Apple Keychain is. She doesn't know what iCloud is. A lot of people don't know, or they don't want to know. My uncle doesn't know or want to care. Like, he doesn't want to have to sync something to iCloud. He doesn't even know he has iCloud.
He wants to talk to people on Facebook. He doesn't want to answer dialogue boxes.
And wants to check his account balance all day on his bank without like having to click through 5 screens of multi-factor.
And I think that's kind of the problem and the feature of security, right? Is like it has to be hard because the people breaking into it have gotten more and more sophisticated. Yeah,
and the trick with that, this is something I learned when I used to have the CISSP credential, is that if you technically harden a resource so it's very difficult to hack into it technically, well, somebody knows how to get into that system. So then you turn to social engineering and you figure out how to manipulate this person who knows how to get in there, which is much easier than trying to get through 3-foot walls of steel or something.
Right.
You find somebody that can open the door for you.
Yeah. One of the problems there too is the ability for people to learn from each other. It's like when people go to prison, they're in crime school for however many years, learning to be way better criminals and all the tricks. Here's why you got caught. Do this next time. And with social engineering, there's things you can do, you can learn to do, even if you're not like smart enough to figure that out on your own. You can go get a Flipper Zero and break into someone's car by learning all that on the internet. And like the dark web has a lot of hacker tools so you don't even know how to hack. You just need to get these tools. And I don't know where any of that is. I've never seen it. I've just heard about it. I am not a hacker. Yes.
There is, I remember reading an article about ransomware as a service, like on the dark web.
As a service?
You can literally like rent out bots that will like steal data from your competitors and hold it hostage for you.
Wow. That's a feature that's amazing. I did just read a story today about a 14-year-old. They had some derogatory term that basically said low-skilled hacker hacked into 14 different
kitty.
Yeah, but AI script kiddie.
Yeah.
So he hacked into like 14 different companies.
Yeah.
with
Well,
AI
the
helping.
security concern around Fable and Mythos from OpenAI, they shut that down in a hurry. It found 100 exploits that have been there for 100 years and blah, 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 that a lot of people already knew about. But our approach is going to be, a passkey and a backup passkey.
Yeah.
And one of them is going to be a YubiKey.
Right.
And yes, we will have users carrying it around on a keychain.
Yeah, well, you can require that if it's a select people at your
It
organization.
is a very
or whatever.
small. Here are their
but-
names. No.
But most of the people in my non-techie friend groups are never going to do that.
No.
But they carry the
But-
keys to their car in their house.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do, but that's a more physical, tactile, like intuitive
All I
thing.
got to do is put a doorknob next to their computer that they just put their key in and turn it to start it up,
Yeah.
and then now we've got a physical security.
Yeah. What's your password?
Yeah.
Well, I auto start my truck and then I put
Right.
the key into this thing on my desk.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know how long passkeys are going to be around. I suspect, especially with all the AI stuff and the rapid evolution right now, I'm pretty sure something else will come along before too much longer that addresses some of the shortfallings of passkeys. But you're never going to get a perfect solution. It's not possible. There's no silver bullet. That Frederick Brooks guy said that a long
people
time
are
ago.
way too smart. And people are easier to hack than computers. So you'll always have the social engineering aspect. One of my main pain points right now is single sign-on. And so the issue, let's say you have single sign-on between Microsoft 365 and Salesforce. Just, as an example, I'm pulling out of the air. Hypothetically, and so you're passing a SAML token, which SAML is a type of dromedary, but it sends this stuff over to Salesforce,
right,
and says, "Hey, I got the keys. This is the guy, and he's all good." But there's a signal that has to go with it that tells Salesforce if the method of authentication used on the other side was phishing resistant or not.
Right.
Otherwise, it's just going to blast you over to the Salesforce login screen and make you log in that way. Microsoft is scrambling to work with Salesforce to get the ability for that signal to get sent along with everything else. But currently, it's not there yet. The good thing is the Salesforce is only requiring this for admins. So our regular users, our consultants, our Peters and our Dans, should still be able to use single sign-on, I hope.
Fingers
Then
crossed.
we have service accounts.
Yeah.
Service accounts. APIs.
Yeah. So, I mean, what's interesting to me about all this discussion about authentication is we've now reached the point where our identities as human beings is largely represented by a digital fingerprint of some sort.
Right.
Meaning that I don't have to look like Peter. I don't have to sound like Peter. I don't really have to know much about Peter. If I have certain digital artifacts from Peter, I can impersonate him and steal his identity and
Quite easily and accurately, right?
Yeah. So that's where we are. I mean, that's because everything's online now. Like all our money's online. And the only way to get your money, I mean, I don't know, I guess you could walk into your local branch and like tell somebody you want like $10,000 in small unmarked bills or something, but usually it's a digital transaction that's requiring some sort of authentication, digital authentication.
Yeah.
They card me at my bank.
I never go into my bank.
I keep losing bank branches. The convenient one is gone. The slightly less convenient one now is gone. and I got to drive all the way to Apple Valley, wine country,
Why do you like have to go to banks all the time?
to withdraw large amounts of cash under $10,000 at a time.
Don't check his mattress.
How's that car wash business you started up going?
I don't even wash my cars, so why would I start a business doing that? I don't believe in it as a concept.
Did you get that reference, Peter?
I did.
Okay.
So
high cash business.
the other problem I'm running into is the step up. So you go into Salesforce, you authenticate, then you click on reports, and you have to do the authentication the exact same way again immediately.
Yeah.
And it's like, why can't it go and start the clock? Because there's a timeout then. So once you did that, you should be good for like 2 hours or something, or however long you set it for. I think 2 hours.
It doesn't even
is
have
the
to be.
max.
It doesn't even have to be that long. It really only has to be about 2 minutes, because if you're logging in to look at reports, you're logging in to look at reports. If you find yourself doing other things and then come to reports, you're okay authenticating again, right? Like, oh, I was off getting coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
Must have timed out. I got to authenticate again. But if you log in just to look at reports,
Yeah.
it's really should remember that you just logged in and authenticated the hard
And you're
way.
using the same keys. It's like, all right, we're going to have a door with a key that people have to get into. It'll go down a hallway where there's a door that's keyed the same way.
Right.
And that'll protect us.
Yeah, it sounds clunky. I'm guessing that's kind of a botched implementation or something that somehow got greenlit into production. But
I'm guessing that was a excited. We need to do this right now. We're going to do it the bad way first because it's super secure. You can't argue that it's more secure to have you log in 20 times. And
that's the thing. Like, there must have been something that spurred all this on.
They're plugging a security hole,
and it's
temporarily, is my guess.
Oh, you guys are so jaded, dude.
Peter thinks they're just looking out for our best interest.
I'm sure they're just
always
seeing the future, and they're saying we need to do this, and we should do it aggressively because it's more secure for our users, and they will cheer for us. Based on this. Not go seek other services.
Yeah, we've all written software that's gone into production. We've seen how the sausage gets made. Sometimes some pretty crappy sausage winds up in your production supermarket counter, and like.
Yep. And
that last minute throw in change.
Yep. Yeah. We need to do this. We need to do this fast. We need to get this done. It's already a problem.
Especially in a publicly traded company where like one little piece of bad news can sink your stock price and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure to be pretty aggressive.
I mean, it is better than turning off reports for 2 months while they fix it, right? Oh yeah, we've taken away all your reports for 2 months.
I don't know.
Don't ask us why.
Though. I don't know what they're fixing.
They probably don't either. So,
because I don't like, it doesn't make sense to me that you would immediately have to do that. And 2 minutes is not long enough either.
It seems dumb, but this is a thing that's kind of part of your small like little world of like administrative roles and stuff. Like your average user is probably not going to run into this thing too often trying to like check their bank balance.
If Amazon made me log in to buy something and put it in my cart and then made me log in again to check out, guess what?
Yeah,
you'd
be like my uncle. Yeah, he's like,
I'd be on Walmart.com as fast as you could blink.
Are we seeing more of these like man-in-the-middle attacks with phishing, where you're going to the wrong page and then you're typing in your credentials, basically giving them away?
I don't know if we're seeing more, but we're seeing really big, successful ones, I think, is what's been the problem.
Like
you only got to get that CEO's password one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The password exploits are on the rise. I think if you go there, I was going to put a link. Have you guys heard of the FIDO? FIDO Alliance. Yeah. So that's kind of the that's kind of the group behind the Passkeys stuff. But if you go look at information on their website, they've got some statistics on the growth of password-related exploits.
Yep. You can see FIDO on the back there, Dan.
I got my FIDO key.
Yeah.
YubiKey 5C
so-
NFC has FIDO and WebAuthn, I think it's called.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Those are
going, Dan.
phishing resistant methods.
For now.
And cue the cynic. No.
But what were you saying, Dan? That
I was just going to say there's on that website, so the FIDO Alliance is the group that's the, whatever you call it, the umbrella group that's kind of organizing the passkey rollout, or I don't know how to say it right.
big
But
security.
yeah, but there's information on their website that has statistics about the growth of exploits over time and companies that are using only password authentication, those kinds of exploits are getting worse. Like, so people probably have to move away from passwords if they don't want to get hacked. They're probably gonna at some point if they keep
At least
using
go to
passwords.
MFA, right?
Yeah, at the very minimum, yeah.
But even then, I think some of the man in the middle, Kyle, like you're describing, if I wanted to, I could probably whip up with AI a pretty convincing Microsoft authentication screen that I could just take the answer that you give me and feed it to the real Microsoft screen and be like, all right, now I'm into their real account.
Yeah.
Because I fished it away from you. And obviously you have to be pretty targeted on the user. You have to know where you're going and all of that. But, if you're a good criminal, you're going to do your research, right?
Yeah. And AI will help you do that.
Absolutely.
Because you're not really in the know when you get that extra page between you and what you're trying to get into. If it's saving it so it has it, but then it's passing you through, and so you're just getting that second factor to put in.
Right.
And then it's letting you in, and then once you're in, this other account has access, and they sneak in and add another authentication method where they have the key, and now they are good to go.
So, and all that is doable, but it's much more difficult than before multi-factor authentication, where all I needed was a password.
Right? Oh, yeah.
Like, because back then, if I wrote it down on a Post-it number, somebody stole it, they were in. That's it.
Yep.
So MFA is harder than that, makes it more work. You have to want what you're going after more. And like, how many of us have, how many of us have enough information where somebody's willing to go through great lengths to get at it? Probably not many of us, but
no.
So that's the trick.
Some things are just
make it too hard for a reasonable person to attempt it.
That's the reasonable person metric.
There are reasonable hackers. They're lazy hackers. They're like, I'll steal $1 million if I can do it in 24 hours, but if it's going to take me 6 months, forget it, man.
I might as well get a job to do that.
Yeah.
If you're smart enough to be a hacker and get into all that stuff, maybe you can get a job making more. Doing stuff that's not illegal.
Yeah, you're not going to waste the opportunity cost if it takes that long.
But I do think it's going to get, like everything, right? Like passwords used to be a pain in the butt, right? If I just want to shop and check out, why do I got to put a password in? Just take me guest account. I'm going to check out, put in some information. I'm only feeding you information. I don't want to create an account. Let me out. I think the same kind of ease is going to be built into all of the tools, and they are all getting smarter because they have to, right? Ideally, Dan, your uncle is not going to care, and it's going to blip up on his phone or something easy that says, is this you accessing your Facebook account? Hit yes.
Yeah.
And away you go. Hit no. And then call us if you accidentally hit no. But I mean, it's a customer service and a security problem. But
yeah, and once that kind of pattern becomes ubiquitous and people are used to it, they'll do it. They'll adopt it. Some people won't, but most people will.
it does shrink your market a little bit, right? Like as soon
Yeah.
as you had MFA, you've lost your uncle, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of folks
Right.
get to a certain
So
age where it's not so
that
fun.
so that's a good point back to the whole convenience versus security, like push and pull. The people that stand to make money from their web services and stuff, they want this to be as easy as possible.
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
so the big players, the Amazons, the Facebooks, those they're investing heavily in trying to make all of this as seamless as possible because
Yeah.
then they can get your money more seamlessly.
Exactly. I'm surprised they're not sending out fingerprint readers to folks to just plug in your computer and then set this up one time, and we'll have a customer service person walk through with you, and then now we've got you for life, and you're going to be happy.
Yeah, you would lose all the preppers and the privacy fanatics as soon as the fingerprint reader started showing up. But
I'm not sure that they're on Facebook right
Well,
now.
probably
what
not.
about the
They-
Face ID?
to
Like,
face it, I don't.
isn't
so-
that crackable by having an 8x10
yeah.
glossy senior picture?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how the physical technology works, but when you think about it, really, what that technology is based on is a hashing algorithm, right? It's hashing your facial features into some sequence of numbers, and
Yep.
maybe you don't even need a picture. If you could like intercept that hash somehow,
Right.
maybe that would be easier. I don't know, but I'm not a hacker, but that's what I would try first if I was a hacker.
You sure?
I would just put a rootkit on, see if I could just get the hash of your face instead of trying to like mess around with a color
So
glossy
pretty soon we're going to
photographer.
start getting AOL CDs, and people are going to be demanding CD-ROM drives in their computers again. And it's really just a rootkit that somebody sent out to old people.
Yeah, we're going to go back to thick clients where all of the software runs on your local machine, and there's like
Yep.
totally secure in your upstairs office.
Air gapped.
Yeah, that's what they call that. Right?
There's also what they're doing now. I mean, there's always this war between, VPN and all of these companies, and where you'll get flagged as using a suspicious IP address.
That happens to me all the time.
And if you do that with, like right now, if you do that with Salesforce, if you run a VPN on your phone and try to log in with the phone app, your account's going to get frozen.
Yeah.
Most likely. And then I'm going to have to go in and unlock it using my passkeys.
But most companies have their own private VPNs that they want people to use, right? That's a secure thing. Is if I'm in a coffee shop, I should be VPN'd into my company network, not just browsing to it.
Yeah. I mean, I use a VPN on my phone and my main laptop just because I don't think the government needs access to anything I'm doing just for that reason alone, especially after some of the stuff that happened in my neighborhood last year. But I get Google saying like, we think you're a bot. We see suspicious activity. So I get like these stupid captchas all the time when I'm just trying to use like Google because I'm on a VPN.
Right.
Yeah.
And the CAPTCHA thing, we should have a conversation about those. The splintering of the CAPTCHA technologies. Like there's still the crosswalks and the motorcycles, which I hate those two. But now there's all these weird ones.
We're
where you
training the self-driving cars.
Yeah,
that's what that's used for.
But there's all these weird ones now where you have to slide a slider to make an image like coming to some kind of resolution. Have you seen those ones?
Yeah.
It's like a scrambled image. You don't know what it is, and you're supposed to move a slider until it coalesces into something you recognize. So there's these things. There's where you got two birds, and you got to rotate one of them until the orientations match, and all this weird stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen those yet. I've just seen the check this box.
That's the mouse trail stuff.
Select all the pictures with a bus. And then I've seen the word ones where it's some series of letters that are impossible to read.
Well, there's the really messy ones that you can't read the letters or numbers. Then there's the ones now that are easy to read. It'll be like two discrete words, but nonsensical. So it'll be like frozen burrito or something, and you're supposed to type that into the box. But But yeah, it'd be fun to talk about captchas. There's a lot of different things. I hate them all, but there's a lot of creativity going into them.
But again, I mean, we've talked about on this podcast before that over 50% of the internet traffic is now non-human.
Yeah.
And so that's a big percent for those of you
Is
doing
that the
percents
death
at
of
home.
the internet conversation?
Right. So
Yeah, that would be a good one for that.
do you think we're going to start seeing reverse captchas where they want to make sure you're not a human before you can get in? Like this is only for AI
Yeah.
access.
This
Yeah.
is the AI
Oh, yeah.
channel for
It's gonna
the
happen.
good stuff.
Yeah.
And you got to prove you're not human.
Yeah.
That should be
Banana.
fun.
I don't know. What do I put in there?
Well, that's, the whole data thing. Where do you store it? Where is it getting stored? If I'm using Claude Cowork on my desktop and I'm giving it access to things so it can do things for me, I'm increasing convenience.
Mm-hmm.
But now I've given Claude, the keys to the kingdom, and that do I know what it's doing? I don't know what any of this stuff's doing.
That's the point. With us humans are too slow at getting things done, so we need this AI to do it for us. Like we can't be checking in with us all the time.
I don't even know what I could automate.
But there again, I think eventually we'll get away from. Hopefully, we'll get away from reCAPTCHA and CAPTCHAs, but because it will be so worthless to know that you're a human or not, right? Or to know that Dan's not just using Claude to go out and shop for Mother's Day.
Well, exactly. That's gonna be a problem. Like right now, it's like, oh, you can't access this because you appear to be a software agent. Well, in the future, it's gonna be, well, of course it's a software agent. Like I don't have time to do this. Like,
I think maybe the future of this authentication is going to be AI. Your computer has AI running on a chip away from the operating system, and it knows you. It says, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Well, not much. Do you mind if I get in my computer?" It's like, "Yeah, that's fine, because I know you. I know your voice, and I know your face, and I know the gait at which you speak, the speed, so many details. I know about your dimples and the warts and the pimples, and I've mapped all that out, and it's all in here, and I know who you are. And so because I know who you are, you can come in.
What if you get sick?
What if you get
sick? Well, it's come down to this deep philosophical question: is what is identity? Like, who is Peter Lawrence really in the 21st century?
Peter Lawrence.
Probably more than one thing. I mean, he's the guy in the podcast with me right now, but he's also a bank account somewhere, or probably a bunch of them. And so.
Good admins never die. They just become service accounts.
If they're smart, they created a service account first.
There's about 10 people that would get that joke, and 2 of them are on this call right now.
Yeah. That's the other thing is the being the admin, being on this side of it is really frustrating, because it's not what I was 1 month ago, not thinking or planning or doing any of this, not really understanding what was going on. They were actually making huge changes to what they were going to do. At one point, they were going to make you whitelist all your IP addresses.
Yeah.
Which does not work. You've got, not everybody has a static IP address. People use VPNs. People go from different locations and coffee shops.
Rarely changes mine.
Yeah. It works though if you're on your company VPN.
Right.
That you're like, okay, we're going to use the company VPN and we're going to whitelist our stuff. It doesn't work if your users are not on VPN and they're scattered all over to the 4 winds. And, not even like sometimes your VPN doesn't prompt you for all the stuff. Sometimes it's a new IP address that nobody knows about yet. 10 minutes you get to be sneaky.
Maybe this will get us off IPv4.
I was gonna just say, like, I thought we were supposed to run out of IPv4 numbers by now. Like,
Think of whitelisting those. Oh my gosh.
No, and you can still get IPv4 static IP addresses from folks.
yeah, it reminds me of like when I was in
Expensive.
elementary school and they taught us about the metric system. They said, like, yeah, we're gonna switch over in a couple months. Like, and you guys will know it
The
all.
metric system.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like IPv6, they rolled that out like 25 years ago, but like it's
So long. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
All right. So took mother up to Canada for a visit, and how many kilometers? How many kilometers in a mile? Like how? I don't know, 2.5, I guess, maybe.
2.2. Well,
2.2.
Yeah, something.
2.2.
And so, everything was metric, and then I had her convinced that they also ran on metric time. They ran on a 10-hour day. I had her for like, I'd say 45 seconds.
Yeah.
do either of you remember when they tried to do swatch time?
Swatch time. I remember
Swatch.
Swatch watches. but-
Yeah. Swatch themselves tried to break it up into like 100 units in a
They
day.
were like a Swiss
Ah.
company, right?
Yeah.
Because they're
The,
famous for watches in Switzerland.
the universe is a clock. The whole thing is a clock.
Yep.
And so you have to go with that clock. Each solar system, each planet,
Each planet has its
their
own
own
unique
clock.
time, right?
Yeah. So
It's worse than that.
Stardate.
Each atom has its own time. Like,
Oh, yeah. There you go.
well,
The atomic clock.
that's based on atomic oscillations, which is kind of a quantum mechanical version of the vibrating quartz crystal thing.
So
Well,
why
and
did Bezos build an atomic clock inside an inactive volcano?
Because he can.
Just seemed like a good idea. All right.
Because sometimes you don't trust other people's watches. That's all.
That's true.
Well, you shouldn't, because
Maybe that's what he's using.
Because
for
yours is
there's
the
his-
only one
Canadian
that's
time.
100% right for you.
When we were
He
kids,
was trying out a new
we-
two-factor
yeah.
authentication method, and that's what he had to build.
So I don't know if people know this, but in Minnesota, when we were younger, like if someone gave you a Canadian quarter, it was like, all right, no big deal. And if you spent it, people would take it.
Unless you try to put it in the Coke machine, it just keeps falling through into the coin return.
You gotta breathe on it and try it again. Put some spin on it. You'll get it. Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid, for a while, you could put slugs in some of those vending machines, just the metal centers,
yeah.
they'd pop out of washers or whatever. You could
See, there's
sometimes
always a way to circumvent things.
fool them.
There was just recently, my brother bought a house, and he's got a big 2-car garage across the road from him, and it's got a keypad to open up. He didn't know what the number was. And I love
digits.
puzzles. I just felt the keys, and like 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3 were rough. Everything else was smooth.
Nice.
0 was rough. And then I looked at they had the instructions to reset it and mention it's a 4-character pin.
Yep.
And so I just sat there making different combinations with those rough keys until I got it.
It
Nice.
didn't have a lockout feature, apparently. Huh?
No.
There's an article a while ago, I think maybe Paul Weedell posted it in the Morning Awesome, about why you repeat a number in your 4-digit PIN. Did you read that one? You can show that mathematically, in the case you're describing, where you can tell which of the numbers that have been used, it's harder for them to guess if there's a repeated digit than if you used 4 separate numbers.
There was a repeated digit, and I will
Nice.
say that it was it took a while to get there versus the other one.
Which got
That's
versus 1111.
Yeah, those are the old school I'm sure the new garage door systems have probably some kind of a lockout thing if you
They have a fifth character.
fifth character.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how they made it more secure.
Yeah, they have infinity.
I've always thought they were just slow enough that would prevent burglary, but not prevent people like Kyle that had a real reason to get in
He
there.
had a key that got in a side door, and he went in, and then he could just push the button.
That's what I was gonna say. See, you get
Multi-factor.
we're talking about. So I've got an electric garage door opener. My keypad doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. Maybe you can come over and see if you can fix it, Kyle.
Oh,
Yeah,
But,
without the keys.
But when my garage has been broken into twice, and both times they like just kicked in the service door, which is right
Yeah.
next to the big garage door with the security pass.
Well, I
code.
got right in, but then I realized that there's nothing in there worth stealing, so I left.
Yeah,
Right.
they stole 2 bikes. I did lose 2 bikes that were.
Oh man.
I mean, they were like 20 some years old.
Does that mean you got to
good.
upgrade 2 bikes for free? They took care of the disposal?
Not yet. My wife got a new bike. I have not gotten a new bike yet.
I got a
Do you
bike
lock
for
them
you.
now in the
You want a
garage?
bike? I'll get you a bike.
They actually were locked. I had her bike and my bike locked together, but I did not have them locked to like a eye hole that was screwed into a 2x4. They were just
Yep.
and so somebody picked them up and put them in a pickup or something because you couldn't
Wow.
ride them. There was cables through the front wheels.
Huh.
So
You
they
go to
must
the
have
shop,
found-
get out the angle grinder, and spend
Yeah.
1 minute going through those cables. Well, we're getting down to the wire. 3 minutes left. Any parting thoughts about passkeys?
I'd say embrace passkeys, kids, for the next couple of years. They're better than passwords for the most part.
It's going to
Yeah.
be better than MFA.
Right. They solve that problem.
Yep. And all of our users will be, for our laptops, will be Windows Hello for business users. And for the Macs, it'll be different. But I think I got to check. I think this will allow us to not have to be on an MFA for the MacBooks and PCs that
Woohoo.
have local admin rights.
Nice.
So, which will save us some money because right now we're paying for some third-party auth stuff. So
Crazy, man.
it's all just, it's all related, man.
If there were
Yeah,
no criminals, we
totally.
wouldn't have these problems.
People just got to wreck it. I remember, like, when I was a kid, we never locked the front door. The keys were in the car. And
Yep.
no one stole our stuff. Anyway, I think with that, we can shut her down and go Passkeys.
Go
Say goodbye,
Passkeys.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Solution Design Group is a digital product consultancy in Minneapolis. Check us out on the web at solutiondesign.com or look for us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Solution Design Group.